Hey everyone, welcome to the best US Mint News channel on YouTube. I'm Son of a Silver Stacker. Today's date is the 14th of September, 2025, and in this video we're going to be talking about that reverse proof Palladium coin that recently dropped about 10 days ago now, I suspect. Also, we're going to be looking at the sales for that, as well as the sales for the San Francisco American Silver Eagle. That's that proof coin, the last one to come out of San Francisco until the next one comes out. And we don't even know what's going to happen with that. Probably looking at the San Francisco Mint reducing the production of certain coins to ramp up production of other coins, I would imagine. I think the San Francisco Mint does stay open for next year, but they could be winding down some of their production to meet the needs of other coin production. So with that said, now if you're new here, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to get to a bazillion subs. It's actually a really big number. In fact, it's ginormous. Yeah, you can look it up on the Google machine. Also, we're always live, never edited, and always unscripted. I never know what I'm not going to say. Also, yeah, if you don't mind, please consider becoming a member over here. It's $1.99 per month. It's the price of a cheap cup of coffee. Yeah, that's right, once a month. It's not a whole lot of, it's like 6.6 cents per video in a 30-day calendar month. And these fine folks are members here, and you get your channel picture presented here. Yeah, that's right, our members. Thank you, channel members. They are showcased here on each and every single video, so you can put your mug right there. That's kind of cool. Or your favorite pet or animal, whatever you like. Now let's go over here to moneymetals.com. Check out those live spot prices. So gold ended the week at 36.5710, silver at 42.39, platinum at 14.08. Remember the price that I'm about to say, right? Palladium. That's at end of the week at 12.1720, and then we're going to look at the Palladium reverse proofed coin to see what the markup or the premium is on that one. And Dr. Copper ended the week at $4.65 per pound, and those live spot prices will be activated again later on this afternoon. Now you're looking at an in-stock American Silver Eagle whose premium is $6.69 for a quantity of 1 through 39. They'll ask that you pay $49.08. Now the buyback, that's the sell to them price, is $42.40. And isn't that something? It's only a penny above the silver spot price. That's remarkable. Also, don't forget this week, that's right, this week, the FOMC, the Feds are going to have a meeting where they're probably, or at least expected to, drop interest rates. And if that happens, the dollar gets weaker. That's right. This, not that these precious metals get more valuable, right? It's just that the dollar becomes weaker, driving these prices up. So we could see the American Silver Eagle bullion coin here, $50 per ounce. And does that mean that silver is going to hit $45 an ounce this week? Yeah, it could be, and that would be quite incredible. And what's interesting about all of that is that I remember when we first looked at the prices over at the United States Mint's American Silver Eagles, they were $95, they were $105, and people were saying, well, I could get 3 of these bad boys, these bullion coins, right, without the mint mark, right? They could get 3 of those without, without the mint mark for what, $39. Remember that when the year first started? Yeah, not so bad. And they could get 3 of them almost at that price to 1 American Silver Eagle from the United States Mint. And they're like, why would I do that? I just want silver. I want to stack silver. You know, that's incredible. Now you're probably only able to get 2. And if we go to $50, yeah, that's incredible, folks, or even $55. The ratios will not be the same, I think, for long. Now let's keep on keeping on. I've yammered way too long about that. Also, yeah, there's a story about gasoline purchases back in the 60s of how much it would take to fill up your tank with silver coins. And it's almost like identical as far as the silver content to fill up your tank. It's quite incredible, actually. Like an ounce of silver filled up your tank back in the day, maybe in the 60s, and then an ounce of silver would fill up your tank today at that price too. It's quite remarkable, actually. Now let's keep on keeping on. Here we go at the Mint's product schedule. As you can see, we're starting here in May, and you know it got pretty rigorous over at the United States Mint for the last few months. With all the products dropping. And I got to say, the next product from the United States Mint drops on, I believe, September 21st. And then we're going to have September 23rd, which is the Batman gold coin and the silver medals. But before any of that, let's check this out. So we have the May 6th drop for the Kennedy half dollars. There's the rolls. They've been gone for about a month and a half now. Now, finally, the Kennedy half dollars in the 200 coin bag, those are gone. So now, finally. Now, when did things start ramping up for the United States Mints and their products? Well, could it be May 15th, or could it be the June 13th, that Friday the 13th drop right there? All right. that started the whole summer of sales at the United States Mint, because I'll tell you what, the Mint did fantastic during the month of June and July, months of June and July, as far as their sales. I mean, we would go through the top 10 sales over there at coinnews.net, and some of the products, like midway through, and like numbers 5, 6, and 7, had numbers in the thousands. I mean, that's just incredible. I mean, those are like 2020 numbers all over again, and that's remarkable. Now, we looked at the last bit of sales from the United States Mint, and yeah, that looks like they have decreased substantially, maybe cut in half. Is that because that the products aren't as desirable? I don't think that's the case at all. All right, so I think let's keep on keeping on here. I think things started ramping up for Mint in June. In July, we had the Morgan and Peace silver dollars. That's the uncirculated ones. And I believe those were actually released at a show earlier this year. Then the July, oh, I remember July 24, that was a kind of a big deal. At least we thought it would be. That's when the United States Mint dropped the Superman coins, and the San Diego Comic-Con was actually at the same time, but they didn't have any representation at the San Diego Comic-Con, which I think was a miss. Now, we also had the July 17 release for the uncirculated coin set from 2025, and then here in July, we got the, that's about it. Then July 29th, we got the American Innovation coin featuring Mission Control out of Texas. That's a fantastic coin, highly coveted, no doubt about it. I imagine people are selling those individually for decent money, and that sold out rather quickly. And then we had the July 31st release for the Sacagawea gold dollar. That's that proof coin. That's a half ounce. And then the silver proof set. Yeah, that didn't last long, right? Because the Mint pulled them from the shelves due to toning. Yeah, toning on brand new sets. How does that happen? Yeah, yellow toning. Not liking it. Not liking it at all. It's incredible how they just said, nope, not going to sell it. And now, I think the latest sales for the silverproof set stand at about 114,000. That's if there's no more returns. And I would imagine there will be more returns. And I also imagine that because this set was, well, I don't know how to say how to say it nicely, but it wasn't in the best shape of all. I think the limited edition silverproof set out of San Francisco might take up some of the slack that this one has actually produced as far as the demand is concerned. Because remember, this was the only place besides that limited edition silverproof set that you're going to find that left-facing, that west-looking Kennedy half dollar, and that's the last year of it right there, folks. After this year, we're going to have a whole new design for the half dollar, and then he comes back in 2027, and yet he's going to be facing right or to the east. Definitely something to consider. And also, when we looked at the sales, and I haven't recently, when we looked at the sales for that Kennedy half dollar, they were going anywhere between $100 and $120, $150 just for that one coin. That's the price of the silverproof set. That's remarkable. And I got a question, how many of those silverproof sets were actually cracked open by flippers and dealers to sell individual coins like that Kennedy half dollar? Sure makes you wonder how many sets are actually really out there. And it would be cool if there was like some kind of depository or something where if you cracked one open, you could like say, okay, well, you go to a website and you log that you cracked that open. Therefore, we get a little bit better idea of the mintages for these particular coins. Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah. Just log what you've done. And it could be anonymous, right? That would be all right. All right, let's keep on keeping on. We're going to look at the August sales here. Yep, things started ramping up again here in late August, because we're like August 7, the first week of August. And then the third week of August here, we got the laser engraved American Eagle 1 ounce silverproof coin. And I think what's sad about this one is that the Mint lost the figures, the sales figures. They don't know what they did with them. When I put them down here, and then when I went back, they were gone. Like somebody absconded with them. They're just gonzo. Not sure what happened. Then we had the August 21st release, and I think this had a lot to do. The August 21st had a lot to do with the American Liberty High Relief Gold Coin, and the silver medal was responsible possibly for this one not selling out as quickly as it could have. And that's the laser engraved American Silver Eagle. I really dig this coin. I think that laser engraved is pretty sweet looking. But I tell you, there was a lot of competition in those couple days. I mean, if you had to choose, which one would you get, right? And I think a lot of people chose the American Liberty 2025 silver medal. I think it's beautiful. Then late August showed us the ornaments, and then the last, oh my goodness, again, last of the San Francisco American Innovation coin proof sets. And those are pretty beautiful. That Florida is just rocking. That Florida American Innovation Proof coin is just stunning. It is absolutely awesome. All right, here, let's get to the September 4 release. There we are. This is the American Eagle 2025, 1 ounce. That's right, 1 ounce Palladium reverse proof coin. And let's go ahead and see what it sells for. $1,695. It just dropped 10 days ago. And it is on Remind Me. They're out of stock. And the mintage limit is 6,000. The product limit is 6,000. And I believe they only sold about 4,000 and change or so. So that was about 2,000, maybe 1,800 less than the stated product limit. And that's okay. But what are they selling for on eBay? I think that's the big question people want to know and people want to see this. So I've got here, all right, completed listings, sold listings, and I put here 2025 West Point American Eagle 1 ounce Palladium reverse proof coin. Yeah, 0 results. I'm like, what's going on with that? Maybe I should just put 1 here instead of find out what happens. And yeah, nothing changes, and that's sad. Yeah, whoops. Maybe if I put in the denomination, $25. Either way. So check this out. This is a recent sale, sold September 5. That was what, just what, 8-9 days ago, whatever. Yeah, look at this. This is a reverse proof 69, 1695. Wait a minute, 1695. That's, wait, what? Yeah, that's how much it sold for in a reverse proof 69. It sold for what the mint is selling it for retail. And yet, it costs a little bit of money to have that sent out, have it graded and sent back. Whoops. Yeah. Oopsies. Also, look at this, sold September 9th. That's just a few days ago now. 5 days ago, 1915. Yeah. So would you like to spend $1,700 only to have a sale realized at 1915? And remember, the mint, actually eBay rather takes what, 14%, 9%, 10%. So if you're looking at 10% of $1,900, yeah, move the decimal place over and you got $191 there. Whoops. Yeah, that's a good bit of money, right? Yeah. Did you make any money? I don't know. That's tough. Look at this one, sold for $2,029. This one sold for, is that right? $1,695. Is that the same coin? It looks like it right there, doesn't it? It just says sample. Can't really tell. And this one also says sample. $1,695. There's a raw 1950. This is 2019. That's interesting at $1,576. This sold August 23rd, and that was a little bit ago, and that was a 2025. And this looks like a pre-sale, looks like, right? Yeah, pre-sale there for $2,011. 2019, here we go. Look at this. Here's a recent sale located out of Miami. $1,749. Yeah, $1,749. Wow, that's less than $100 over. So I think you're starting to see what's going on with this. Typically, what I'd like to see is double your money on American Silver Eagles or Palladium Eagles. Wouldn't that be fun? But that's not what we're seeing here. This has a really low mintage. 6,000 is not a whole lot of, but I guess it's all about demand, right? Do people buy palladium? Do they buy gold? Do they buy silver, right? So that's a question that we need to have answered. And yeah, low mintages and high grades, that's something fantastic, but there's got to be a third factor there, and that's going to be demand. And it looks like the demand is not there, seeing how these prices realized aren't that great, especially for a reverse proof 69. I mean, we've seen the Army Privy Mark in a proof 69 sell for more than double its issuance or retail price. So that's kind of remarkable, actually. Now, let's keep on keeping on. We're going to go back and down the schedule here. September 11, still add to bag. I think the mint needs to lower their mintages for the Morgan and Peace Silver dollars to about 75 or 100,000. And that means including the bulk folks, right? That way there will be a sellout and there will probably be more demand. And they don't have to have all that product sitting on the shelf right now collecting dust. Because if they're selling, what, 20 of these, 30 of these a week, and there's 15, 20,000 left, yeah, do the math. That's what, 200-300, maybe a month at that rate. And imagine how, if there's only 3,000 left and you're selling 200 a month, it's going to be a while. It's almost a year before you get rid of those. All right, here we go. This drops in, I believe, let's see, September 23rd. Today's the 14th. You're looking at, what, 9 days away right now. And that's the American Eagle out of San Francisco, the last one. Remember this, because if we go to the subscription, yeah, it tells it all right there. Yeah, not going to happen anymore. So this is the last of the San Francisco Eagle, as well as the limited edition silver proof set as well. And somebody had a really great question. The mintage limit on this particular coin is on the San Francisco proof is 110,000. The product limit for this one, and I can't really show you the product limit until I scroll all the way down. I think this is broken. Yeah, product limit. No, that's an MM. That's not it. Let's go to the current product and we'll find it. I think it's 25 EM. There we go. 25 Echo Mike. So mintage limit 110,000, product limit 110,000. Now the question is, with that limited edition silver proof set that contains this particular coin, does that 25,000 that they have there, is that going to include this 110,000, or is that going to be extra on top of the 110,000? I thought that was a great question because, yeah, the mintage limit and the product limit are two different worlds, right? This product limit is 110,000. And so, yeah, if we could get more clarification from the United States Mint, if those numbers will be included on that, especially before the limited edition silver proof set drops. All right, this coin is $95. And what is it selling for currently on eBay, you ask? Let's find out. All right, here we go. This is sold September 13th. That was just yesterday for the 2025 San Francisco American Silver Eagle. I didn't put on their proof. I should probably do that there. Bingo. Yeah, that's probably a little bit better. But that gives me the U.S. Army privy. Is that it? There we go. $135 there, September 13. There's the San Francisco, the trolley right there. And that's a Proof 70 Ultra Cameo. Yeah, it's not double, is it? And that is not a bullion coin at all, right? And it's not in parentheses. 164 there. Look at this. That's the Army privy, 239 raw. Not trying to even do those. I'm going to go back. It just threw off everything, didn't it? 135 there, 129 there, 164 there, first day of issue. Looks like these Army ones are really just permeating the search. It's incredible. And it's not even an S. Here we go. Here's a pre-sale for the American Silver Eagle. That's right. It's got the Proof 70 Deep Cameo, $189 for a coin that is $95. Look at that. Bam, 95 with a Proof 69 Ultra Cameo. That's quite something. 149 raw. 134, that's a first strike out of San Francisco. 139, first day of issue, San Francisco Eagle. 144, so you're starting to see a trend develop here. Looks like the low 100s, anywhere between 120, 140, there's a 150, 134, 134, and so on and so forth. So are these going to become more expensive as people realize that this was the last year of the American Silver Eagle out of San Francisco, California, until it's not, until they bring back production in a few years or what have you? That'll be pretty interesting to find out. And like I said, let's keep on keeping on. This has sold out. This is the Kennedy half dollar 200 coin bag has now sold out. Product limit was 11,550. And we said it wasn't going to be long before this one's gonzo. And will this return 7:30 in the morning here and there? Probably. You never know. Now let's go to the plus ones. I've got some good one for you here today. Yeah, look at this. Proverb 10, number 21. This is important. It says here, the lips of a righteous person will nourish many, but the foolish will die through a lack of an understanding heart. And I've elaborated on this and give it more meaning. Because sometimes, these are, I don't know if they're vague, but they're kind of hard to wrap your head around if you don't actually sit there and think about it. And I think maybe that's the point, so you can sit and think about it and have clarity. Now it says here, multitudes benefit from the prayers and the blessings of righteous people. The foolish who lack wisdom and discernment will fail to grasp wise counsel and consequently suffer severe consequences, ultimately leading to the destruction or spiritual death. In this context, a fool is not simply someone unintelligent, but a person who deliberately rejects the Lord's wisdom and guidance. They are morally deficient and refuse to be corrected. Yowza, that's brutal. Now let's go over here to 39's Fine 99.9 KOIN Coin News Radio. I guess I got nothing for you today, so I'll just leave it at that. It just didn't even load. It was just a blank white screen. I think I need to fix that somehow. But anyway, I'll leave a link in the description for what that was. It was Led Zeppelin, Bronwire. That's a pretty cool song. Now, with that said, I want to thank y'all for coming. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you do like what you hear and see, please sub the channel. It's free. We're looking for a bazillion subs. Also, please consider becoming a member. It's only $1.99 per month, and that's not a whole lot of folks. It's the price of a cheap cup of coffee or an inexpensive cup of coffee, as I would say. Yeah, because there's a difference between cheap and inexpensive, right? Yeah, I don't want cheap, but inexpensive is okay sometimes. Now, y'all have a great start to your Sunday or even week. I think that's fantastic. May you spend it with the people you love and who love you. Stacker out.